Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 109 of my brand new comics haul series, where I show you guys all the new books that I pick up at my local comic shop every single week, and I let you know everything you need to know about every single issue. So really big week, as you can see from this stack. A lot of big releases, mostly just from like ongoing series that have already been going on, but some really big new issue number ones for new ongoing series. So let's just get right into it here with probably the biggest release of the week. I heard this one sold like 100,000 units, right? So everyone's talking about this book. It's W0rldtr33 number 1, new ongoing series from James Tynion IV, probably the biggest name in independent comics at least right now, right? He wrote Department of Truth, Something's Killing the Children, a whole bunch of other stuff, and he's become well known for like these really high concept ideas. And this one I really don't know too much about, but I know it has something to do with like the internet. And yeah, artwork is looking really good in here, and James Tynion always has some very interesting ideas, really makes you think and really delves into these worlds that he's been building up. So yeah, Something's Killing the Children still going on. I think Department of Truth is still ongoing also, and he's doing really well as a writer. So I'll be really curious to see like what the whole deal is even with this series. I can't tell you guys too much because I really don't know too many details yet, but yeah, so I might put out a review of this book, just like a quick non-spoiler one. If you want to see that, let me know, but I'll be trying my best to read this and put out a review after I'm done filming this video, and we'll see what the deal is with this. So, W0rldtr33 number 1, new ongoing series, and yeah, a lot of people are talking about this book right now. Next up, though, let's move on to Marvel Comics. We've got another first issue here. This one is kind of a big release. It's Alien issue number 1. So this is like the third volume of Alien that Marvel has done, right? They had like that first 12-issue series and then a more recent one. Now they're relaunching, but this is like the first time it's been written by a new writer. It was written by Philip Kennedy Johnson for a really long time, and now they're bringing on Declan Shalvey as the writer, which is interesting. He's usually an artist for the kind of stuff that he does, but I also was noticing they've got like this new imprint, right? So 20th Century Studios is now like putting their name on the comics for the properties that they own. So I think this banner also goes on Planet of the Apes, that new series that came out, in Predator. Now it's just in association with Marvel. So I don't know why the deal that they've worked out has somehow changed, but let's look at the artwork in here. It's looking pretty good, maybe a little bit cartoonish, but yeah, so it's set in some sort of like alien world and some sort of snow planet. So we'll see what the deal is with this, or what the concept even will be for this new Declan Shalvey series, or what his vision will be for it. I'm hoping it'll be understandable. That's my main worry, is like some of the stuff I've read that's written by Shalvey has been just a little bit confusing, like Time Before Time, and I've heard that new Old Dog series that he's been putting out has been like hard to follow. We'll see, but Marvel's giving him a chance as a writer without even having drawn anything for it, and I'm here for it. We'll see how he does with this. Alien number 1. That's probably just going to be a mini-series, right? Because they keep relaunching, so we'll see about that. Moving on to just some issues of ongoing series, though. Next up from Marvel is Doctor Strange number 2. I picked up that first issue to see how I would like it, kind of jumping into the middle of a storyline, right? Although it's an issue number 1, it's set after like Death of Doctor Strange and after that Strange series where Cleo was Doctor Strange, but now it's just Steven, back in his role as Sorcerer Supreme and everything. And it looks like we're getting Nightmare in this issue, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that first one I just thought was well written. It really was good for new readers since I haven't read anything leading up to this. And it looks like we've got Moon Knight in this book and stuff. Jed MacKay taking advantage of all the characters that he's writing right now for Marvel. And I'll be curious to see what he does with this series ongoing. I just think it's kind of cool that MacKay like had such a lead up to just what ended up just being like an ongoing Doctor Strange series, right? Like first he had to do Death of Doctor Strange and then the Clea Strange series. So yeah, artwork isn't my favorite in this book. Pascal Ferry on the artwork. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll warm up to it. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking of this if you're planning on continuing to pick this book up. Next up, though, sticking with the Doctor Strange side of the Marvel Universe here, this is the end to one of my favorite Marvel series. This is Strange Academy Finals, issue number 6. So it's just number 6 of this series, but they did an 18-issue series before that, just called Strange Academy. And yeah, this is still such a strong recommendation from me. I do recommend starting from the very start. Maybe they'll come out with like a hardcover or something, because this might be worth reading like all at once. But it's about these kids that are part of Strange Academy in New Orleans. All of like the biggest magic users have been building up these kids and teaching them to become the next generation of magic users, but there's a bunch of drama that's come along with it. So kind of our main character, Emily, has turned into this villain. She's like protesting against the way that kids are treated at school. And this is the big final climactic issue. So the artwork in here looking really insane. I really wish that we could have just kept this same creative team and just had them keep on making this series. But yeah, 24 issues, I guess that's pretty impressive to have such a streak without any like guest art or anything like that. So Strange Academy, I'm still really loving this series. I'll be really curious to see how it ends, and especially like what they do with Strange Academy after this, because I doubt they'll just let this property go, right? We'll see about that. Strange Academy Finals number 6. Next up, though, is another big series finale. This one is Hulk number 14. So it is Ryan Ottley still drawing and writing this issue. For the series finale, he wrapped up this whole Hulk Planet story arc by doing, I think, like the last 4 or 5 issues of it. Because Donny Cates, who is the main series writer for this book, stepped off of it, as well as stepped off of Thor, which I'll talk about in a second. We still don't really know what's going on with Donny Cates, but I've thought that Ryan Ottley has done like a pretty decent job carrying on the story. There are a couple issues in there that were kind of like heavy on the text, but last issue we actually got everything explained for how we got to this new like status quo that Hulk has been in since the beginning of the series, right? He's like picking up on all those threads that Donny Cates left and trying to wrap things up before the series ends, because we're getting that relaunch in a couple months. It was a little bit disappointing, but I thought, Otley is doing a pretty good job for his writing debut in here. Like, it's an enjoyable comic, and the artwork is really cool, so it's at least worth picking up for that reason. Yeah, here's another page in there. I'm just really excited for the new Hulk ongoing series. I think that one's going to be really cool because they're leaning into like the horror aspect of it again. And I was all for that when Immortal Hulk was coming out. So we'll see about that. Not a great Hulk series, but I guess I picked up all 14 issues. There it is, right? That's Hulk number 14. Next up, though, like I said, we've got Thor. So this is the other series that Donny Cates abandoned, right? And since then, it's been written by Torunn Grønbekk, who like had work experience in the Thor universe. So she's actually been doing not too bad of a job, in my opinion, carrying on this series. We did get it announced recently, though, that this series is going to end. I think maybe like in a few issues. I don't know exactly when. And we haven't had the new creative team announced or anything yet, but we do know that it's ending with Donny Cates just fully off of the title. So very anticlimactic, right? Like anyone who's been reading this series from day one knows that we've been building this big Thanos storyline, where he's like this looming threat that Thor saw in his future, like standing over all the dead bodies of all the Marvel heroes and all that, like with some sort of like Infinity Gauntlet Mjolnir hybrid. So like it seemed like we were building to something really big, but now they're just wrapping up the Thanos storyline in more of a minor way and just like this regular story arc. The artwork isn't quite as good as it used to be because Nick Klein isn't on artwork anymore. So this series has definitely taken a downgrade, but the writing is still decent, and they're bringing in interesting characters like Doctor Doom. Plus Thanos is involved, although he probably won't be as big a deal as they're making it seem like he was going to be at the beginning of the series. A little bit disappointing, but yeah, we'll see if Donny Cates ever picks up on any of those threads or if he ever wants to write Thor again. We'll see about that. Next up, though, from Marvel Comics, I've got a couple more issues from them this week. This next one here is Deadpool number 6. So this, I think, is just kind of like a filler issue. It's not the main artist on here, but I guess this is an homage to a movie. My parents were telling me that. I didn't actually realize because I haven't seen whatever the movie was. They said Ghost. Let me know if you guys know what this is an homage to down in the comments. But yeah, Deadpool has actually been like kind of a standout hit for me, in my opinion. I've thought that it's been really good so far. It's definitely pretty lighthearted, and I think Alyssa Wong as the new writer is really funny. She, depicts Deadpool in a really good way. And yeah, just like kind of a lighthearted series like Deadpool should be. And he's, lost his status as like the king of Staten Island, which I thought was kind of crazy in the last Deadpool run. So it's just like more of a low-key Deadpool series where he's once again just a mercenary. He's been involved with this organization, like this guild that he's trying to get into of assassins because he wants to like prove himself worthy to them. And that's led to conflict with this Carnage symbiote that was growing inside of him. We'll see about this. I really don't know what to expect from these next couple issues of Deadpool because I think they are just kind of doing filler until whatever the next big thing is. But yeah, definitely still a recommendation. I don't know how many people are reading this, but yeah, I've been liking it so far. It's pretty good. That's Deadpool number 6. Next up, though, is another series finale, just a mini-series here from Marvel. This is Mary Jane and Black Cat number 5. So this one I've liked okay. I thought that it held up to the standards that like one-shot that they put out a few months ago. That was part of that whole Beyond thing, the Mary Jane and Black Cat one-shot. It's pretty similar to that, right? There's like a funny dynamic between MJ and Black Cat, them trying to like stray away from having to talk about issues with Peter because Black Cat is now dating him again. Honestly, like that storyline is taking up a little bit too much of this miniseries in my opinion. I feel like the characters would be able to stand on their own. Like they don't have to make one of the main plot threads just be that like Black Cat is holding out telling Mary Jane that she's dating him. But good artwork in here, I gotta say. There's another Jed McKay book. He's doing a good job like continuing on his Black Cat series, right? Because he did a couple like ongoing Black Cat series, and since then he's been like following the character through all these different mini-series and one-shots and whatnot, and writing her whenever he can. So we'll see about this. I don't know how this is going to end up affecting the Amazing Spider-Man title. It probably won't too much. It kind of stands on its own, but also ties back in pretty nicely. So, yeah, definitely a recommendation. I think a lot of people are picking this up, right? It's a good series. But that's Mary Jane and Black Cat, number 5. Next up, though, I've got a couple independents to end off the video here. We're going back to Image. I know I showed W0rldtr33 first, just because it's such a big release, but this one is Vanish, number 6. Speaking of Donny Cates, this is the only series, I think, right? The only ongoing series that he actually still publishes. It's Vanish, number 6. So this is his creator-owned one under Image, and it's obviously drawn by Ryan Stegman, right? The creative team behind Venom. And so far, it's been like a really imaginative world that they've been building up. Just building up the lore of this villain named Vanish, who's featured in the artwork right here, who like killed off a bunch of the kids at this magic school, like Harry Potter style type thing, that the main character was part of, the main character Oliver. And since then, ever since the like tragedy with Vanish, nobody from the magic school has rekindled their magic or anything. They've kind of been undercover. But now that the villains are back, including Vanish, the main character is now having to, take them down one by one. But the team of villains is posing as superheroes to the public, so it makes him look like the villain. That was kind of a bad explanation. You got to read it for yourself to really understand. It's been kind of up and down for me, to be completely honest. Some of the issues I feel like are a little bit fast paced, too much action, and I like when Donny Cates really gets into his characters and breaks them down and everything. So I want a little bit more of that out of this series, and we'll see how this continues to be. Great artwork though, Ryan Stegman, keeping it coming here. So yeah, not sure how long they're going to go with this, but they're pumping out these issues and I'm here for it. So that's Vanish, number 6. Last issue of the week, though, I know is a really big week of books. This last one is from Boom Studios, another ongoing series here. It's Grimm, number 10. I'm glad to see they're continuing on publishing this one, right? I will say, though, I don't know why. I don't know if it's something to do with the series being kind of convoluted or just that they don't have any recap pages, but I can never remember what happens in this series. I do know for a fact that this is Jessica Harrow's mom, though. Jessica Harrow is our main character. She's a Grim Reaper, who it turns out was actually the daughter of Death himself. So that's kind of led to whatever is going on in this book right now, right? Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot going on, so a lot of the time I just am not able to remember what happened in the previous issue, even though it comes out every month and everything. Something about this series. It's really well written, though. The artwork has remained pretty consistent. It's colorful, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It looks like we've got some conversation going on between a couple characters. So maybe a little bit slower of an issue, but yeah, let me know if you guys are still picking this up. I don't know how many people are still talking about this book, because it's just ongoing. Like, I don't know if it was originally supposed to be a mini-series or what, but it's continued for like a really long time at this point. Yeah, let me know if you're still liking Grimm. But those were all the new books that I picked up this week. Really big haul. I've got a lot to look forward to reading, as well as like some issues from previous weeks to get caught up on. So I'm really going to have to sit down and actually get done with all my reading and get caught up on my comics again. But yeah, those were all the issues I picked up. Let me know what you picked up, though, down in the comment section below. Which issues are you hyped for this week? Or if you already read them, which was your favorite issue of the week? I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next week for next week's haul. And look out for that W0rldtr33 review. I'll be trying to put that out later tonight. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.